Good morning, children. Welcome back in our online classes of English class 11th. And I'm your own teacher, Anulori Daniel. And in our last video, we have done the first chapter from Hornbill, that is a portrait of a lady. Okay, now in that chapter only, chapter number 1, we have a poem that is called as A Photograph by Shirley Tolson. So not all the chapters in our book are having a poetry along with it, but some of the chapters is definitely attached with poetry also. So this chapter number 1 is along with the poetry called as A Photograph by Shirley Tolson, and the theme of this poetry is memories. Before moving ahead with what is the poem all about, I would like to tell you about the author, that Shirley Tolson was born on 20th May 1954 in Henley, London, in England. In Henley, England. Okay, she was a daughter of Douglas Dixon and Marjorie Brown. She had a great passion of writing, okay, as she was greatly influenced by her father, who was also a writer. Our poetess actually did her BA in literature from Brockenhurst College in London. And after that, she pursued the career in writing. She had been a editor to many of the magazines in the meantime. Okay, my dear children, so mainly as photograph, the title reflects the theme, what all is attached. After looking on the photograph, we usually recall our memories. So the theme of this chapter is memories. So before moving ahead, I would like to read out the poem aloud to you. The cardboard shows me how it was when the two girl cousins went peddling, each one holding of my mother's hand, and she, the big girl, some 12 years or so. All three stood still to smile through their hair at the uncle with the camera, a sweet face, my mother's, that was before I was born. And the sea, which appears to have changed less, washed their terribly transient feet. Some 20-30 years later, she would laugh at the snapshot. See Betty and Dolly, she would say, and look how they dressed us for the beach holiday. For the beach. The sea holiday was her past, mine is her laughter. Both rife with labor-days of loss. Now she had been dead nearly as many years as that girl lived. And of this circumstance, there is nothing to say at all. It silences. It silences. Okay, so this is a photograph poem which I read you by Shirley Tolson, and it starts with a cardboard. Shows me how it was. Cardboard means a stiff paper which is of brown color, and usually here cardboard represent the frame in which photograph usually is kept, or an album in which a photograph is usually pasted. So it is a frame for holding the photograph. And what that photograph is showing, how it was, means how the day was. When the two girls went paddling, paddling means movement, or rather movement of their legs or walking in the shallow water. So each one holding of my mother's hand. So in that photograph there is something, that is the photograph of the poetess mother, and she is not all alone in the photograph. It has been told very, very clearly, two girl cousins are there and poetess mother is there. So you can see that there are total number of 3 girls. Okay, how many girls? 3 girls in the photograph. So mother is the standing. We can have a sketch or diagram like this in the middle, and the 2 girl cousins are standing like this. So she's telling the cardboard means the photograph shows how it was, and the two girls cousins went paddling, means they were walking in the water, shallow water of the sea. This scenario is of the beach. Each one holding one of my mother's hand. So these two girls were holding whose hand? Mother's hand. So the poetess mother is in the middle, some 12 years or so, and she the big girl. So mother's age, here the poetess is talking about a photograph in which her mother is there and along with her cousin, as well as the age of the mother is 12 years. Means mother is in her childhood as well as the cousins are younger to her. How we can say? Because it is written and she represents whom? She represents here mother of our poetess. So she is the big girl. Big girl means she is the mother is standing in the middle and she is the elder girl, elder than the two girl cousins over there. Some 12 years or so. My mom means the mother age is almost 12 years. So mother is not in the teenage. She is in the childhood age of 12 years. So all three stood still to smile through their hair. Okay, so what is written? All three means these three girls are standing and smiling. Why they are smiling? Through their hairs means it is a windy day or wind is actually blowing, so the hairs are also coming in front or on the face, and it is also waving, so they are just smiling. And while they are smiling at the uncle with the camera, so these three girls are actually posing. They are posing like this for the camera or towards the camera for a photograph. So they are actually stood still means they pause for a moment, like we usually give different pose nowadays in front of our cameras for taking selfie. So these three girls actually pause their moment and they just are giving the pose in front of the camera. And who is standing with the camera? Uncle is standing. A sweet face, my mother's, that was before I was born. So mother is having a beautiful sweet face, and the time was when? Then before the poet was born, means mother is at the age of 12, means mother is in her childhood. So definitely the time is before the poet is born. Okay. And the sea, which appears to have changed less, washed their terribly transient feet. Here it clearly indicates that they are on the beach, and that's why the word paddling has been used, means the movement of the legs in the shallow water of the sea, that is beach only. And the sea which appears to have changed less. Here two factors you need to understand. One has been mentioned as the sea, and another one factor has been mentioned as terribly transient feet. Okay, my dear children. So one is sea, and author says sea appears to have changed less. It dignifies, or it signifies rather, that sea is eternal, okay, and it is immortal. And that's why it is said that it have changed less, or rather it has not changed. Okay, my dear children. So here sea has been signified as eternal, immortal, and it has changeless. Therefore it is not changeable. Whereas see what the water has washed their terribly transient feet. The water is actually washing their terribly transient feet. Here transient, the word, I will just write the entire word, terribly transient feet. You all know what is feet. You all know what is terrible, and you know what is transient, which is not permanent, which is temporary. That is called as transient. So actually they were walking on the beach and the imprints of their feet were washed by the water. Here it also reflects that human beings changed a lot, means these girls who are at the age of 12 years, I told mother was at the age of 12 years, standing in the middle. Actually they grew in their age, means human beings, once they are born they have to die also. It shows that human beings are what? Human beings they are mortal, they have to die, they're not immortal, and they are changeable. So this actually terribly transient feat, it's reflection for human life. Okay, my dear children, so this is, and the sea which have appeared to change less, wash their terribly transient feet. There is two comparison, and in the one hand sea has been shown as which is eternal, it is immortal, it changes less, or rather it is not changeable. At the other hand, it signifies a terribly transient feat, means it shows, it reflects the human life which is changeable and which is mortal also. Okay, apart from this terribly transient feat is a what? It is a transferred epithet. There is a literary device called as terribly transient feat is transferred epithet. I will just make you understand while we are reading this poem that terribly transient feat. Literary device is, it is a transferred epithet. What is transferred epithet? You know, when an adjective qualifies a noun other than what? Other than a human life, or other than a living thing or somebody. So here transient is an adjective and it is actually qualifying feat. Actually it should have qualified a living being. So here transferred epithet means transient life, means not permanency or temporary is used for human life, but here it has been used for feat. So human life is not permanent. That what writer wants to show. So terribly transient feat is a transferred epithet is there when adjective qualifies a noun rather than a person or thing. Usually this transient is used. Transient means not permanent, it is temporary, which is changeable. Okay, so it is usually used for human life, but now here it is used for a feat. So that's why it is called as transferred epithet. Okay, my dear, this is a literary devices. What is a literary device? You already know. When a writer use some some other language or a vocabulary to express the feeling, then those devices are called as literary devices. So in the first stanza, we see that our poetess Shirley Towson is having a look on the photograph, and in the photograph she sees that there are three girls there, in which the middle one, who is the mother of the poetess, and it is written she is the big girl. She is the big girl means she is the elder girl among these two other girls. Okay, she is standing along with the two girl cousins on the beach and posing in front of a camera. Okay, an uncle is standing with the camera to take a photograph. So here Shirley Towson is having a look on that photograph of a mother, in which her mother is just 12 years old. In the second stanza, we move ahead. Some 20-30 years later, she would laugh at the snapshot. Means in the second stanza, after that period when mother was child, that period is over, and now mother and cousins have grown up, and after the 20-30 years later, after that photograph was taken, in the second stanza we see that 20 or 30 years later, what happened? That She would laugh at the snapshot. She here denotes the mother. Okay, mother of the poetess. Mother would laugh at the snapshot. Snapshot again means photograph. Okay, snapshot again means photograph. So after 20-30 years later, it again shows that how the human life is transient and human beings grow older and older. So after 20-30 years of that photograph was taken, mother is looking at the photograph and she is laughing, just reminding her old memories. See, Betty and Dolly. So mother is telling the name of the two girl cousins here. Two cousins' names are what? Their name is Betty and Dolly. Okay, so here it's very clear that the girl cousins' names are Betty and Dolly, and she is telling, see, Betty and Dolly, she would say, and look how they dressed us for the beach. Us here, who represent? Mother is seeing that photograph, that particular photograph where she is posing with her two girl cousins at the age of 12 years, Betty and Dolly on the sea beach, and after when she herself become a mother, she would say, oh, how they actually dressed us. Means us here represents the parents. Mother is recalling how their parents have dressed them for the beach holiday. Okay, my dear children, the sea holiday was her past. This is very important. The sea holiday was mother's past, which can never be returned or reversed back. That was a beautiful memory of mother. That innocent day, that beautiful enjoyable day was mother's past. Mine is her laughter. See, this is very important stanza. You can underline it. Mine is her laughter means Mama's laughter is past now. It means that Mama is dead. Okay, I will again like to repeat it here. The poetess writes that sea holiday was her past. Sea holiday was her. Her past means whose past? It was mother's past. And mine is her laughter. Mine is her laughter. Means whose laughter? Mother's laughter is mine. Means poet's past is mother. Mother's laughter means if mother could have been alive, she could laugh today also. But why poet is telling like that? That mine is a laughter because at present, what is there? At present, mother is dead. Okay? At present, mother is dead. So here we come across in the poem suddenly that pain is there in the poem. Okay, my dear children, what is there? The sea holidays were her past and mine is her laughter. Here is a sudden shock for the readers also, as if she could have been alive today, she would never have written like that past word. Okay, but as it denotes that mine is her laughter is poetess is recalling that mother's laughter is my past means mother is no more in this world. Both rhyme with labored ease of loss. Now just underline this line because this line is again very important as many question comes from here. First I will try to explain you from literary device. Both rhyme mean is disappointment. Okay. Rye word here reflects disappointment or disappointed. Okay, rye meaning is disappointment. Now both rye with the labored ease of loss. Now labored ease. This particular word labored is a oxymoron. It is a literary device is oxymoron. When two opposite meaning words are used together, then the a literary device called oxymoron. Is means that literary device is termed as oxymoron. See how it is contradictory. Labored meaning is very simple, something which we get with great difficulty, okay, with great effort. That is the meaning of labored, means very great difficulty. Ease just opposite to labored, which is very easily we used to get. So ease can never be labored, or labored can never be easy. So two contradictory word, or in simple meaning, two opposite meaning words, when they are used together, that figure of speech, or rather that literary device, is called as oxymoron. Okay, my dear children. So here we learned Rye meaning disappointment, labored is an oxymoron. But what is the meaning of both Rye with labored ease of loss? Ease of loss means there has been loss. Now what loss is there? Okay, there is two meanings. One is both. Both here represent and loss. Both represent the word mother and poet. Mother's loss is what? Mother's loss was her childhood days. She lost her childhood days, okay, which were innocent, which has now become memory. At the same moment when mother was just seeing the photograph, she was very happy, she was smiling, but there was a pain behind that. Childhood days can never be reverted back. Those carefree days are lost. Okay, that was the loss of mother. And poet loss is mother. Poet loss is the mother. Mother is no more in the world. So both are disappointed with the labored ease of loss, means both things are greatly disappointing. Even the losing of the beautiful childhood days which are gone, and mother is no there, means loss of mother is a great disappointment. However, poet has tried to cope up with this situation, with this loss, okay, with the labor. She has, with a great difficulty, she tried to cope up this thing. What? Cope up the loss of mother, as well as mother has coped up the loss of what? Her childhood days. So that is the meaning, labored ease of loss, particularly specific meaning. They have with great difficulty tried to overcome it. Now she has been dead nearly as many years as that girl lived. We are in the third stanza, and how many years have passed after the death of mother? 12 years, because it is written there as that girl lived. What was the age of mother in the photograph? 12 years. And in the third stanza, first line, it says that now she had been dead nearly. So 12 years almost have passed since mother died. And of this circumstance means death of the mother, there is nothing to say at all. Means circumstance, another important question can come. What do you mean by circumstance? So circumstance here means the death of the mother. Circumstance, if you go for a simple word meaning, it is a condition. So which condition? It is the death of the mother. So this condition where she has lost her mother, what is the condition of the poetess? She is saying there is nothing to say at all, means that death of the mother has actually left her speechless. She is now speechless. She is in such a grief. There is no expression. She does not find a word to express its loss, its grief. And that's why she is saying that there is nothing to say at all, and its silences. This is a very important word, silences. Means Silence means that silence of the photograph of the mother actually left the girl, means the poetess, speechless. Though it is a beautiful memory of her mother, but as mother is no more in the world, after looking at her mother photograph, that photograph is also silenced, and that silence also silences the whom? The poetess, as mother is no more in this world. So my dear children, if here we conclude our poem. In this poem, it is just a beautiful description of how our poet remembers her mother through a photograph, and how she tells that what has been lost in those years, and also there has been told us that life has no permanency, though it has been compared to sea, means to nature it may be a permanent, it is not changeable, but human life is not permanent, it is transient. I told you two important literary devices. One was oxymoron, that is labored ease. I told you, as when two opposite words are used all together, that figure of speech, or that is that literary device is called as oxymoron. Labored ease, as labor is to achieve something with great difficulty, ease is very easily. They are two contradictory terms used together, then the figure of speech is called as, or rather literary device is called as oxymoron. And then transferred epithet, we learned another figure literary device, transferred epithet. When adjective qualifies a noun other than a person or thing, we call it as a transferred epithet. Actually, transient word or adjective is appropriately used for human life, you know, but here it has been used for feet, therefore it is a transferred epithet. Apart from this, we have many more some other very simple literary devices. That is what we have: alliteration. Okay, can you find very quickly alliteration in your poem? We have some other literary devices. Two are very important, I told you very quickly. And alliteration is a repetition of consonant sound at the beginning of the consecutive two words. Okay, with two or more words, that is called as alliteration. So where do we find examples of alliteration? Just go through your book. Number one is stood still. Okay, beginning of same sound or constant sound at repetition of the same sound at the beginning of two or more words. Second one you will find is through there. Third one we can find is my mother. Fourth alliteration you can find is terribly, transient. And fifth you can find is silence, silences. So this is the examples of alliteration. So we actually read three literary devices. One is alliteration, one is oxymoron, and other one is transferred epithet in this chapter, or rather in this poem, and that is very easy for you. And now your homework assignment will be think it out. I think it's on the page number 12. It is on the page number 12. Think it out. I will be discussing very quickly these answers. So your homework assignment for this is page number, it will be on page number 12, termed as think it out. So the first question is, what does the word cardboard denote in this poem? It's very simple. Cardboard means a photograph. You can write in that, photograph. And again the second part of the question is, Why has the word been used? Means there are three girl cousins along with the poetess mother. She is the eldest, Betty and Dolly, and they were posing for a photograph which uncle was actually holding the camera, and they were on a beach holiday. These things should be mentioned. What has the camera captured? The camera has captured the three girl cousin or the poetess mother smiling through their hairs. Okay, what has not changed over the years? This is very, very important. Answer number 3. What has not changed over the years? C has not changed over the years. And what is the next question? Does this suggest something to you? Definitely you have to answer like that. That yes, nature is immortal or not changeable. It is eternal, but human life is changeable. It is immortal. It is mortal, and once human being gets a birth, they have to die. Likewise, you have to answer this. Now the poet's mother laughed at the snapshot. Okay, now poet's mother, excuse me, I just want to get my book. The poet's mother laughed at the snapshot. So what does this laugh indicate? This laugh indicates that how happy she was on her beach holiday and how carefree nature that innocent girl of 12 years age was having and enjoying innocently the without any care that what is going to happen. Means a very carefree happiness nature of the girl can be seen. Now what is meaning of the both rye with labored ease of loss? You can write that with over the years, with great difficulty, poet has actually tried to overcome the situation, like mother has tried to overcome her situation of she remembers of her old holidays. But here you can write with a great difficulty, try to overcome the situation and handle it. Okay, means the sea holidays and her laughter in the photograph. The sea holiday and the laughter in the photograph just bring pain to the poet, as well as mother death also bring pain to the poet. Okay, so the specific answer to what is the meaning of the labored ease of loss is, over the years the poet has tried to compensate or overcome it, as whenever she see the photograph of the beach holiday of her mother, she really feels painful, as well as the death of the mother is also very painful. So both the situation. Now what does the circumstance refer here? Here circumstance, actually what is the circumstance? I told the death of the mother is the circumstance, or the mother being dead. And now what is the 3 stanza? Next question is, the 3 stanza depict 3 different phases. The 3 stanza depict 3 different stages. So you can write in this very, very easy. First stanza you can easily make out. This last answer is, I think it's answer number 7. So the first stanza reflects the what? It reflects the childhood of the mother. Childhood of mother. Second stanza, what it reflects? Second stanza, it reflects definitely the adult life of mother, or being a mother, as well as the death. Plus death. Both has been mentioned over there. And the third stanza, what it represents? The third stanza represents the sense of realization that mother or rather mother's loss. Okay. Third stanza is sense of pain or realization due to mother's loss. So this will be an appropriate answer to the answer number 7. Okay, my dear children. So homework assignment, as I told you, my dear children, don't keep it away that we will do when the school will start. Don't keep your work pending. Just keep on going along with this video whenever the time duration, because this is a perfect timetable. And whenever you will find any difficulty as you will do the homework assignment, you can actually put the questions in the live stream class. But if you are just keeping it aside, you are ignoring the teaching right now, and if you are having a notion that when the school will start then only we will open the books and copies, then it is going to create a big headache for you only. Okay, my dear children, because at that time, because the pandemic situation is going on, we never know how much time we will be getting after the school reopens. So my dear children, it's my request that kindly read your chapters properly, do your homework assignment on time, because in my next class I will be asking you to send me the images of your copy work, and then I will be correcting it and giving you the feedback of it. So here, as it is a second class only, it is a second video only, I am just not asking for the images, but whenever I will make my third video, I will definitely ask you, you will get a message from my side through Studybase that you have to give me the images of your home assignment. So don't take it for granted and be very sincere and do your homework assignment on time, and put all the just list out your queries and put it on the live stream class whenever we are in live stream. Okay, so until we meet next time, have a good day.